Every story is a door. You came here because there's a door calling your name. The orb sees everything. It knows what you need. It has chosen. I only retell. Real or fiction? I won't say. You only need to find meaning for yourself. Listen. The orb stirs tonight. Its ancient light reaches out to me, calling me to witness another tale. Come closer. Tonight, the orb reveals a bridge. A bridge shrouded in winter fog over dark waters. And upon that bridge, a soul standing at the edge. Between life and death. Before I share this story, the orb whispers questions. If you saw a stranger about to leap into the abyss, would you stop? Or would you walk past? Would you give 1 minute of your life for someone you never met? Can a single act of kindness from a stranger change destiny itself? Most believe they would help. But when the moment comes, they look away. They keep walking. The year is 2008. The place, London. The bridge, Waterloo. And the story begins with a young man named Jonny. A man who believed no one would notice if he disappeared. He was wrong. Let me tell you what happened. Jonny Benjamin, 20 years old. From the outside, he had everything. A loving family, good friends, a future full of promise. But inside his mind, a darkness lived. The doctors called it bipolar disorder. Schizoaffective disorder? Medical names for a suffering no words can describe. Jonny heard voices. Cruel, relentless voices. Every moment of every day. They whispered, "You are worthless. Nobody loves you. You are a burden. Disappear." Imagine hearing those words from the moment you wake until you fall asleep. Even in dreams, they followed. Jonny remembered being a happy child once. Running in the garden, laughing, full of hope. But that boy was gone now. Buried under years of invisible pain. In the hospital, Jonny lay awake night after night. The voices growing louder. And slowly, a terrible idea took root. What if there was a way to make them stop forever? January 14th, 2008. Jonny woke before sunrise. A strange calm washed over him. The peace that comes only when a terrible decision has been made. Today would be the last day. No more fighting. No more pain. No more voices. He dressed quietly, slipped past the nurses, and stepped into the frozen London dawn. The streets were empty. People hurried past lost in their own worlds. Nobody looked at Jonny. Nobody saw the young man walking toward his death. And Jonny thought, if I disappeared today, would anyone notice? Would the world feel any different without me? His feet carried him through the waking city, past cafes, past buses, past countless lives, until he reached it. Waterloo Bridge, shrouded in fog like a gateway between worlds. He walked to the center, looked down at the black water below, and began to climb. One step forward and everything would be over. He closed his eyes and prepared to let go. But at that moment, something unexpected happened. A young man named Neil Laybourne was jogging across the bridge, 22 years old. On his way to the gym, an ordinary man on an ordinary morning. Then he stopped. Through the fog, he saw a figure on the wrong side of the railing. Neil looked around. Surely someone else would help. But no. Person after person walked past. They saw, they understood, and they kept walking. Too busy. Too uncomfortable. Too afraid. One man made eye contact with Neil, shrugged, and continued on his way. In that moment, Neil faced a choice. Walk away and hope someone else handles it, or step forward into something terrifying. Neil took a deep breath and chose to stop. He walked toward Jonny slowly, carefully. He had no idea what to say. No training for this moment. All he knew was that he could not walk away. Stay back. Jonny's voice cracked with fear. Do not try to stop me. Neil stopped, raised his hands. I am not trying to stop you. I just want to talk. Is that okay? Then Neil did something unexpected. He sat down, right there on the cold pavement, making himself smaller, less threatening. And he simply talked. He spoke about the bridge, how it was built by women during the war, how it still stood strong after all these years. Jonny said nothing, but he listened. For the first time in months, the voices grew quiet. Then Neil asked a simple question. Can you give life one more chance? Just come down. Have coffee with me. If you still feel this way after, at least you tried. For a long moment, nothing happened. The fog swirled. The city awakened in the distance. Then, slowly, Jonny's grip loosened. Tears fell. One foot moved back, then the other, and Jonny stepped off the ledge. Back to life. 20 minutes. That is all it took. 20 minutes between two strangers. The ambulance took Jonny away. Neil stood on the bridge, watching until it disappeared. They never exchanged names, never shared phone numbers. Just two strangers who met for 20 minutes, then parted. But for Jonny, those 20 minutes changed everything. Someone had stopped. A complete stranger had decided he was worth saving. The road to recovery was long. There were setbacks and dark days. But slowly, month by month, Jonny rebuilt his life. The voices grew quieter. The darkness lifted. He found a new purpose, sharing his story to help others who struggled in silence. But one thing haunted him. He never got to say a thank you. He never knew the stranger's name. 6 years passed. Then Jonny did something remarkable. He launched a search called Find Mike. The story spread around the world. Millions shared his plea. And across London, a man named Neil saw the news. His face went pale. "That is him," he whispered. "I am Mike." 2 weeks later, they met again. In a small coffee shop. When their eyes met, there were no words. Just tears and an embrace that said everything. "Thank you," Jonny whispered, "for stopping." Neil smiled. When Jonny married, Neil stood beside him as best man. Two strangers became brothers. So, what can we learn from this tale? The lesson is simple. Sometimes, all it takes is one person. Not a hero. Not a professional. Just one human being who chooses to stop when everyone else keeps walking. Neil did not save Jonny with medicine. He saved him with presence, with patience, with the simple act of treating a stranger like someone worth knowing. You may never stand on Waterloo Bridge, but every day you pass people fighting invisible battles. People who are lonely. People who wonder if anyone would notice if they disappeared. A kind word. A moment of attention. A simple question. Are you okay? These small acts cost you nothing. But to someone in darkness, they can mean everything. Be the stranger who stops. Be the one person who cares. You never know when your moment of kindness might save a life. The story ends here, but yours continues. Go forth and be the light. Until next time, farewell.